In this video, we're going to talk about titration curves. Here are the learning targets for today. Titration is a volumetric analysis. It is a method used to determine the concentration of an unknown solution. Now, this is based on reacting an analyte with a solution of known concentration, or what we call a titrant, through a neutralization reaction. Now, there are two words that you should know. Number one is a titrant. Titrant is the acid or base of known concentration, and it is the one in the burette. Analyte is the solution being analyzed, meaning it has an unknown solution, and it is the one in the Erlenmeyer flask. Acid-base titration uses a neutralization reaction between acids and bases. This helps us determine the concentration of an acid or base, whether an unknown acid or base behaves as a strong acid or in water. Just remember, when an acid reacts with a base, you will form salt and water. This slide shows you the setup. So here, it is an iron stand with an iron clamp. Here's the burette. In the burette, you will see the titrant. The titrant is again the solution with known concentration. Here in the Erlenmeyer flask, you will see the analyte. So the initial reading starts from 0. This is the final reading when you reach the endpoint. Now, when you plot the volume and the pH, you will form a titration curve. So an acid-base titration curve shows how the pH of an acidic or basic solution changes as a base or acid is added. As mentioned in the previous video, there are 2 points that you need to know. Equivalence point is the point where the moles of an acid and base are stoichiometrically equal. Endpoint is where the indicator changes color. It is used to observe if the equivalence point is reached. As mentioned in the first video, we use indicators, and these are substances that change color over a specific pH range. So this is used to locate the equivalence point and to estimate the pH. It changes color over the vertical part of the titration curve. So here are some examples of indicators and their pH range. In this example, you will see that phenolphthalein is the best indicator to be used in the solution. The vertical part of the titration curve is present in the range where the phenolphthalein is. In litmus, there is a part of the curve that goes up here. Methyl orange cannot be used because the pH is just starting to go up. Now, there are 4 types of titration curves that you can see, depending on the type of acid and base that you're comparing. Strong acid, strong base titration curve, strong acid, weak base titration curve, weak acid and weak base titration curve, and the weak acid and strong base titration curve. For strong acid and strong base, they start at a very low pH because again, initially you have a strong acid. So as you add more strong base, pH slowly rises. However, at some point, this will show a very steep jump. So in this figure, it's from 3 and it jumped directly to around pH 10. The equivalence point is always around 7. After the equivalence point, pH becomes really high. When you have a strong acid and weak base, as usual, since you're starting with a strong acid, the pH starts very low. As a weak base is added, pH increases, but the curve is less steep. Since you're using a weak base, the equivalence point is less than 7. And after the equivalence point, pH is around acidic to neutral range. For weak acid and weak base, it starts at a moderate pH because, again, you have a weak acid. So in this scenario, you have a pH 3. As you add more weak base, the curve is smoother and less steep. The equivalence point is not clearly at 7. Choosing an indicator is very hard because again, the vertical part is very small. Weak acid and strong base starts at moderately low pH. Early in the titration, you will see a buffer region. Buffer region is where the pH changes very gradually. Equivalence point is above 7 because you're using a strong base. After the equivalence point, pH becomes very basic. Now, we can calculate the pH on a titration curve. First, we're going to start with strong acid and strong base. First step is to convert concentrations to moles. Then, you identify the limiting reactant. Then, subtract to find the excess moles of the acid or base. Convert the excess moles to molarity, and then you use the appropriate formula. To visualize it better, let's have an example. A 0.15 liter sample of hydrochloric acid with concentration 0.10 molar is placed in a flask and titrated with 0.125 molar sodium hydroxide solution at 25 degrees Celsius. The neutralization reaction is given below. Calculate the pH of the solution before any NaOH is added, when 0.1 liter of the NaOH solution has been added, when 0.12 liter of the solution has been added, and when 0.15 liter of the NaOH solution has been added. Let's start with calculating the pH of the solution before any NaOH is added. Here, it means that there's no titrant yet. In your flask, you only have 0.10 molar HCl, which is a strong acid. So meaning the hydronium ion is equal to the concentration of the HCl, which is 0.10. So to calculate the pH, we use the formula negative log concentration of hydronium ion. The concentration is 0.10. So when you do the math, the pH is 1.0. Next, this time you add 0.10 liter of NaOH. Step 1 is to convert concentrations to moles. So to get the moles of HCl, we multiply the molar concentration and the volume. So 0.10 molar times 0.15 liter is equal to 0.015 mole of HCl. To get the mole of NaOH, we multiply 0.125 molar times 0.10 liters to give us 0.0125 mole NaOH. Then we identify the limiting reactant. This is a 1:1 ratio. Since NaOH has fewer moles, NaOH is the limiting reactant. Then we calculate the excess moles. So remember, we have 0.015 mole of HCl. We only have 0.0125 mole of NaOH. So the excess HCl is given by 0.015 minus 0.0125 mole, meaning we have 0.0025 moles of HCl in excess. Then we convert this to molarity. So the volume would be 0.15 liters plus 0.10 liters. It is the volume of the NaOH that you added. This will give you a total volume of 0.25 liters. Now we can calculate the hydronium ion concentration. Because again, this is HCl. It is a strong acid, so we're calculating hydronium ion. 0.0025 mole over 0.25 liter is equal to 0.010 molar. Now that we have the molar concentration of hydronium ion, we can use the formula for pH. Negative log concentration of hydronium ion. So this is equal to 2. Now, how about when 0.12 liter of NaOH is added? We have to first, again, convert the concentration to moles. For HCl, it's the same thing. 0.015 mole HCl. For NaOH, since you're going to use 0.12 liters, we have to solve it. So 0.125 molar times 0.12, you will get 0.015 mole NaOH. And again, since this is a 1:1 ratio, the moles are equal, meaning both are consumed equally. And remember, since we have a strong acid and strong base, the equivalence point is always around 7. So the pH is equal to 7. Lastly, when 0.15 liter of the NaOH solution has been added. So if 0.12 is the equivalence point, at 0.15 liter, this is above the equivalence point. There are more hydroxide ion present. So first, again, convert the concentration to moles. NaCl is still the same, 0.015 mole HCl. For NaOH, that's 0.125 molar times 0.15 liters. This will give you 0.01875 moles NaOH. The limiting reactant is now HCl because you have fewer moles. You are above the equivalence point. You don't have HCl anymore. So the excess moles would be 0.01875 minus 0.015. This is equal to 0.00375 mole NaOH. Then we convert this to molarity. So the volume now is 0.15 plus 0.15 NaOH. This will give you 0.30 liters. So to get the hydroxide ion concentration, that would be 0.0375 mole over 0.30 liters. This will give you 0.0125 molar. Then, since we have the hydroxide ion concentration, we can now use the formula POH equals negative log hydroxide ion concentration. Plug in the values, you will get POH of 1.90. Again, we have to calculate the pH, not the POH. And remember, at 25 degrees Celsius, pH plus POH is equal to 14. So we just plug in the value, pH plus 1.90 equals 14. Solving for pH, pH will be 12.10. Since the pH is greater than 7, we say that the solution is basic. So here's the interpretation from our previous example. The initial point, we have pH around 1.0. Before the equivalence point, the pH is 2. If you notice, at the equivalence point, there's a huge jump. From 2, it became 7. And after the equivalence point, the pH is 12.1, which is also a big jump. Because remember, in the titration curve, you have a very steep curve.